So what do we learn about Leylines in Legacy this week? And overall, we won one of our 5 matches, so we finished our league 1-4, and we won one additional game, so not very good, even by against the odds standards. The most disappointing match loss was by far our loss against Dredge. Oh my goodness. In game 1, we had an unkeepable hand that had a Leyline in the void, and there's no way that we can know what our opponent's playing, so we had to mulligan, but it was pretty disappointing and depressing to mulligan a card that literally would have made our opponent scoop the game on turn 0 if we had played it, and then have our opponent be playing a deck to scoop to that card. And then in game 2, we drew multiple graveyard destruction spells, and our opponent somehow, not only had a way to beat the Leyline in Nature's Claim, but also Force of Will. So I feel like that shouldn't have went that badly, and it wouldn't go that badly that often. But overall, the deck, I mentioned it during our last match, I think this is basically Zombie Hunt Legacy version, and it's somewhat cheap for a Legacy deck. I mean, for a Legacy deck, it's cheap. It's not cheap by normal people standards, but by Legacy player standards, it's pretty cheap. So I think that it's interesting and it's fun, and if you have the cards laying around, it's a hilarious deck to take to an F&M or something like that. You could always sub out some of the more expensive Leylines for cheaper Leylines, although the more expensive ones are the ones that sometimes get you free wins, like Leyline of Sanctity against Burn, Leyline of Void against Dredge. Those are the best Leylines to have in our deck because they actually do something when the rest of the cards don't. But I think that overall, the deck is fun. It's like Zombie Hunt. It's not very good. There's not really any ways of improving it. It is what it is. Just like, exactly like Zombie Hunt. It's a cool novelty deck. It's awesome when you get the draw, and I don't think we ever got the turn 1 draw. I think we got a turn 2 draw, some good draws, but I mean, there's no real play to it. It does one thing. That one thing is try to win as quickly as possible and hope your opponent doesn't have Force of Will or other disruption. So it's really unique. It's fun. It's a novelty, but it's just not something that can be consistently competitive, especially in a format like Legacy, where Force of Will and even Daze, they're just such heavily played cards, and our deck has such a hard time beating them. And I think that our turn 1 kill rate is probably lower than some of the other glass cannon decks, like Oops All Spells is very similar in if your opponent doesn't have Force, you just win, or even Charbelcher, Goblin Charbelcher is another like turn 1 win deck if your opponent doesn't have Force, and I think those decks are more consistent at pulling off their one trick than our deck is. So I don't know. I'm glad we tried it, but I can't really recommend it on a tournament level, and there's just nothing to improve. You could change up the sideboard. You could, I don't know, somehow try to run your own Force of Wills, I guess, but it's just, you need all the Leylines, you need the combo pieces, there's not really a way to make them work, so there's nothing to do to really improve the deck. So I think now and forever, Leylines will be exactly what it is, a really interesting, unique deck that when it goes off, you're going to get tons of funny looks, and your opponent is going to get salty, and it's going to be awesome. But apparently that's going to happen about once every 5 matches, about 20, 25, 30% of the time. You'll do something insane. The rest of the time, you just do nothing and lose. So anyway, I hope it was fun to watch at least. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch it. I hope you enjoyed the videos, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.